Did you know that during the American Revolutionary War, the United States attempted to conquer Canada but failed? This lesser-known battle could have changed the map of North America forever. So, let's dive into the fascinating story of the Battle of Canada and uncover how this ambitious invasion ended in disaster. When the American colonies declared war against Britain in 1775, their leaders saw an opportunity to expand their revolution northward into British-controlled Canada. They believed that if they could capture Canada, it would weaken British power in North America and provide a strategic advantage for their rebellion. More importantly, they hoped that the French-speaking Canadians, who had come under British rule after the Treaty of Paris 1763, would join them in their fight against Britain. With this ambitious goal in mind, American forces launched an invasion of Canada, leading to one of the most significant yet often overlooked battles of the American Revolutionary War. In the early stages of the war, the Americans quickly captured Fort St. Jean in the province of Quebec, forcing British forces to retreat. Under the leadership of General Richard Montgomery, American troops advanced into Montreal, facing little resistance. The capture of Montreal in 1775 seemed like a major victory for the revolutionaries, and it boosted their confidence in their mission. However, their next objective, the fortified city of Quebec, would prove to be far more challenging. The Battle of Quebec, December 31, 1775, was a turning point in the campaign. American forces, led by General Montgomery and Colonel Benedict Arnold, launched an attack on the city under brutal winter conditions. Their strategy depended on a quick victory, but British Governor Guy Carleton had reinforced Quebec's defences and was well prepared. As the American forces advanced through snow-covered streets, the British defenders unleashed a devastating counterattack. Montgomery was killed, Arnold was seriously wounded, and the American troops suffered heavy casualties. Defeated and demoralized, the surviving American soldiers were forced to retreat. Despite this crushing loss, the Americans continued to hold out in Canada for several more months. However, their troops suffered from harsh winter conditions, dwindling supplies, and an outbreak of smallpox that severely weakened their forces. Meanwhile, the British reinforced their army with fresh troops from England. By the spring of 1776, it was clear that the Americans could not hold their ground any longer. They were forced to retreat completely from Canada, abandoning their hopes of annexing it into the new American Republic. The failure of the American invasion was due to several factors. Firstly, the harsh Canadian winter made it extremely difficult for the American troops to sustain their campaign. Secondly, the Americans had underestimated the loyalty of the French-speaking Canadians, who chose to remain neutral rather than side with the revolutionaries. Thirdly, the British army was better prepared and strategically superior, enabling them to defend key strongholds like Quebec effectively. Finally, the spread of disease, particularly smallpox, decimated the American forces, making it impossible for them to continue their offensive. Although the Americans were unsuccessful in their attempt to capture Canada, the war continued elsewhere, leading to the eventual independence of the United States in 1783. However, the failure of this invasion had long-term consequences. It ensured that Canada would remain under British rule, solidifying a separate national identity from its southern neighbour. The British, recognizing the strategic importance of Canada, strengthened their military presence there, further securing their control. Additionally, the war led to the migration of thousands of Loyalists, British supporters, from the newly independent United States to Canada, further shaping the country's demographics and political landscape. Had the Americans succeeded in capturing Canada, the history of North America might have been drastically different. Canada could have become part of the United States, and British influence in the region would have been significantly reduced. However, the failure of the campaign ensured that Canada remained distinct, developing its own identity while continuing under British rule. The Battle of Canada remains a fascinating, yet lesser-known chapter of the American Revolutionary War. It serves as a reminder that not every military campaign goes as planned, and that geography, weather, disease, and local support all play critical roles in determining the outcome of wars. This ambitious invasion may have ended in failure, but its impact shaped the future of both the United States and Canada in profound ways.